5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone is ready to get into the start of all of our wrap-ups for 2024. So we did a video, or I did a video. I don't know why I said we. On the upcoming movies and TV shows that you should get excited for that are coming in 2025, with a total of, if I remember correctly, it was like 50 new horror movies that I'm excited for 2025. I don't know, maybe 25 movies that I'm looking forward to outside of horror, and like 16 TV shows. So that was like the start to get us into 2025. And now we are going to begin our wrap up of 2024, which includes favorite performances, favorite movies, least favorite movies. And I will also be doing a ranking of every single 2024 movie that I saw. And I said before that I really, really wanted to do like a full ranking of every single movie I saw in 2024, but it's too massive. I saw like 400 movies, including new watches of old movies, and rewatches. So I'm going to break it up. I'm going to do best and worst of 2024, where I rank and talk about every single 2024 movie that I watched. And then I'm going to also do a live ranking every single every single first time watch I had this year of like older movies. For example, I saw this great Asian movie. I saw Juice. So all the new stuff I watched that wasn't new, I'm going to also be doing that. And wait a minute, I feel like something look weird. I know why it look weird, because I usually have that light off. I'm like, wait, why does it look weird? I don't know. Light off, light on. I don't know. It's usually off. Let's see who we have in here with us. Critical Thinker, thank you so much for being here in the live. Yes, please make sure you do all the things that help a small channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the membership, keep the chat active, comment on the videos after the live is over, all the good things. Pretty girl Danny, thank you so much for being here in the live. Hey, darling Nikki, stopping in to say hello, hitting the like button because it's free to do, y'all. I'll catch the replay. Well, shout out to you. Thank you so much. Baby, how I say this? I need. Am I supposed to pronounce the U? Is the U silent? Hey, thank you so much for being here in the live. Shout out to you. Yes, come on in, get ready for the party. And I forgot to mention, we have back-to-back lives tonight. So I am going to count down my top 20 performances of 2024. And then right behind this video, I am going to do a live reacting to your unpopular horror movie opinions. And of course, you know, I'm a horror girly. That's the bulk of what I do. But I also do other content. So if you're not horror and you just have an unpopular movie opinion, slide that in as well. So I have some that I got on the community post that I posted, but you can also just shoot them while we are in the live. So make sure you stick around for that. I thought it would just be really fun. Faith, Family, and Fun Review, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here in the live. Vanessa Wicked, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here in the live. For a second, I was like, is my glasses working? Am I reading that right? Trent King, good evening. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you. That is the biggest super chat I ever got. I think the biggest super chat I got was like $20. So shout out to you. Thank you so much, Trent. I really appreciate that. Really, thank you. Let's go ahead and get into. Oh, wait. One more announcement before we get into it. I did watch because we were supposed to do this live yesterday, but y'all know how I roll. Okay, I just be doing. But I ended up seeing Nosferatu instead. That's why I didn't go live yesterday. And I've been trying to get in like my final 2024 watches. And I want to talk about like the last 3 horror movies I saw, which was Nosferatu, Werewolves, and the Spanish horror movie, The Coffee Table. So I do have a members only live that I'm going to do this coming weekend discussing all 3 of those movies, because I don't necessarily want to do like a dedicated standalone review. So I thought it would be fun to just do a video going into all 3 of those horror movies that I just saw recently. Be Horrified, thank you so much for being here in the live. Shout out to you, and shout out to Be Horrified, because let me tell you, y'all did not give me a lot of crowd participation when I asked for y'all unpopular opinions. So shout out to Be Horrified for giving me like 6 different unpopular opinions so I could put my video together. Thank you. You can just call me by my name. Oh, you're honestly okay. I thought you was somebody new, child, because I ain't never seen that name. Okay, honestly, got it. So I'm guessing that's like you need. Is that how that's supposed to be? Is it like a shortened honestly? I don't know, child. I'm just a country black girl. Apparently I can barely read. But let's go ahead and get right into my favorite performances this year. And y'all, look, okay, y'all already know that I'm kind of in a mode of not being like, I don't know, I'm not, we already went through this. So I've been trying to have the energy to at least go live, even though I don't really have the energy to really film and edit and all of that good stuff. I went to put this live together. Baby, I was trying to put together little snippets so y'all could see these people performances. Y'all, I got through 2 people and I said, yeah, I can't do it. So you just gonna get the visual of the picture of who I'm talking about. And then my top 2 people, it's a little clip in there for y'all. Okay. I did that. Okay. I got the top 2 people. And that's really all that matters. They're at the top. They're the top 2. So it kind of makes sense. My number 20 favorite performance of 2024 goes to Naomi Aki. I think that's how you pronounce her name, as Frida from Blink Twice. Now, if I remember correctly, I gave Blink Twice a overall favorable review, even though it had a lot of issues for me with the movie. It wasn't perfect by any means. I do not like a SA revenge movie. And let me preface this with a huge spoiler alert. This whole video will be spoilers because I'm talking about the portrayal the actor gave of a character, and I'm going to get into detail about their character throughout the movie and their performance and what made it my favorite. So the whole video will be spoilers, okay? So spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I typically do not like SA revenge movies. I would not have seen Blink Twice if I knew that's what this was. That's another problem I had with the movie, is I wish we could have gone someplace way more inventive. Like, of course, we're just like, men are vile and they have nothing better to do than to hard R-word women. Like, we can't think of nothing better than that. I was hoping it was something way more like sinister going on. Not to say that's not sinister, but I will say I think I have never been a fan of Zoe Kravitz. I think baby can't act. Beautiful gowns, but she cannot act. I think she belongs behind the camera. I think she absolutely belongs behind the camera. I think she has a great eye. I think visually, I really enjoyed the movie, even though, and it's just taste. I'm not one for filmmakers that just like to put in a lot of symbolism and ambiguity and look at this shot. Like, I needed to all mean something and push the narrative. There were some shots in the movie I was like, baby, why are we looking at this? Like, what are we doing? What's the point? However, one big critique I have with her as a director is Naomi is a beautiful woman. She's gorgeous. Baby looked ragged the whole movie, and it irked my nerve. I'm like, why did y'all shoot her like this? And I'm thinking, like, come on, baby, we got a black adjacent person behind the camera. Like, I would think, because there has historically been issues, like actresses, models have come out to say, like, shooting, like, certain people don't know how to shoot, darker skin, brown skin, they don't know how to do our makeup, they don't know how to do our hair. So when I see people on the team that's black or black adjacent, baby, I'm expecting the black girls to be shot very well. And I hated the way they shot Naomi. I hated how ragged she looked. And on a certain level, I get that maybe that was supposed to play a part in the character, because Naomi's character in the movie, Frida, has been assaulted at this island like a year prior. And now she's come back because she doesn't have the memory of that because of the drugs, and she's been assaulted again. So I get that her looking ragged, the bags under the eyes, like that may very well have been intentional. But baby, she don't even remember the assault. So for me, that don't even make sense. Like, why is she looking ragged the whole, I don't know, it bothered my soul because she's a gorgeous woman. And I'm just like, why she was shot like this? But that reasoning for the narrative, for the character, also doesn't make sense, because the other ladies in the movie, particularly I can't think of her name. I think she's Hispanic. The Hispanic girl, baby, she was also, if I remember correctly, assaulted the year prior, and she wasn't looking ragged. She was shot very well. I really think all the women in the movie were shot very well. Even the women that didn't give like traditional like attractiveness, they were shot very well. And I'm just like, why was Naomi like the only person who wasn't shot well? But when it comes to her performance as Frida, I really feel like it was one of the biggest anchors that really held this movie together and helped me enjoy it more so. Like, despite of it was very flawed. It was a very, very, very flawed movie, but I did overall enjoy it. And I really think it's a testament to the performances, and particularly Frida's performance. Very engaging, even though they were shooting her, making her look ragged. The screen presence you need and the actual character of Frida was it's like I enjoyed her. I rooted for her. And I do always say that as much as I love a villainous character, as much as I love a female character that doesn't have to be pleasant, I like some type of likability in some shape, way, or form. Like, even if you're a villainous character, and there was definitely something of a quality with Frida where you rooted for her, but also kind of a cheat code, because obviously you're gonna root for the people that's being SA. Like, you ain't going, like, we ain't finna side with them. It's kind of like making a movie where people fighting Nazis. Of course we ain't gonna side with the Nazis. But I think that I would absolutely love to see Naomi head another horror movie. Maybe even give baby a horror franchise. Like, I would absolutely be here for her to do something. And I feel like Blink Twice isn't necessarily straight horror. It's maybe like horror adjacent in the realm of horror. But I feel like the type of performance she gave, and if I'm not mistaken, this is my first time seeing her in a film. I definitely think she has the chops to really like give us something more so in the lines of maybe like a Cuckoo or an Oddity, where not necessarily just like a slasher horror, but a horror that's really going to explore certain things and it's really going to require a depth to a performance. I think that Naomi would absolutely do very, very well. And a performance like her, I really honestly wanted to put this list together because I saw something going around about the best female performances of the year. And baby, why nobody was black? I'm sorry to be that person, but why no? Why was nobody black on the list? So I said, you know what? Let me shout out my favorite performances, because my list gonna be inclusive. I don't know what everybody else be doing with their list, but even though Blink Twice was flawed, I think Naomi absolutely brought in a flawless a absolute flawless performance. Absolutely loved her in this. And like I said, I think this was my introduction to her. My number 19 performance is from Charge It to My Head, Not My Heart. When I mess up y'all names, I'm sorry to this lady. Denai Guerrero. Shout out to the Florida public school system, because apparently I cannot read. Denai as Michonne in The Ones Who Live. First of all, Michonne supremacy. Okay, love Michonne. And I always say I stopped watching Walking Dead when, spoiler alert, Glenn died. So I never got to see Rick and Michonne in a relationship, like in a whole. I thought the whole portrayal, first of all, where we find Michonne at once we get to The Ones Who Live. This is my first time. Well, I jumped back into the Walking Dead universe with Daryl Dixon spinoff and then with Maggie's spinoff. But this was my first time delving back in with the character of Michonne. Seeing what Michonne is, seeing her as a mother, still badass, still fearless, and going out into this world to find a man that is presumably dead and like being fueled by love. Like, as much as I'm a horror girly and you know I gotta be a thug, like that warms my cold heart. Like, I love, like, just really going out on faith and love. Like, I have to go out, even though dude blew the hell up. He blew up. I believe he's alive out there, and I could be missing. I think The Ones Who Live, baby, y'all. You know, we're going off my little crack memory. If I can't. Oh, wait. I think there was a catalyst that made her think he was alive. I just cannot quite remember what it was. I think she found something. She came across something. I can't remember. But anyway, she was going off faith, because it had been like 10 fucking years that the nigga been gone. Even if she got some kind of little tip that he was alive. And it wasn't even like a tip he was alive. It was like she came across something and it made her like question if he was really dead. Because the way I'm set up, I was like, well, if that nigga ain't come find me, he must be dead. But I love where we find her. I love how Denai is able to play Michonne, where there's a vulnerability, there's a softness, there's a hardness, there's a ruggedness, there's a tenderness. Like, she plays such a complexity like in this character. And a lot of times throughout The Ones Who Live, it's not even necessarily the thing she says, it's like the physical performance. And that's why I chose this shot in particular. It's that facial expression. It's something behind her eyes that really brings this character home and really makes me feel like this is an example for me of when you say nobody else could have played this role but like that actor. Nobody else could have played Michonne. I absolutely was over impressed and just so pulled in with The Ones Who Live. First of all, this ain't like Blink Twice. Baby, The Ones Who Live is amazing. 5 out of 5. Amazing. But absolutely brought home by the chemistry, the connection, Rick Michonne, the performance of Michonne, everything she goes through, the whole journey. Chef's kiss to her. Chef's kiss to her. Super, super, super amazing. Don't tell nobody though, because I'm a thug. You should watch The Ones Who Live. I would highly, highly recommend it. Usually, along with my end of the year wrap up, I do my TV show wrap up. Last year, I did a members only, like, I think it was like 20, 15, 20, something like that, TV shows from like from least best to best. I didn't watch enough TV shows this year. So I'm not even going to tackle that. And it's TV shows that I on my watch list that I haven't gotten around to. So I'm not even going to do a dedicated video for that. But The Ones Who Live was absolutely amazing. And I mean, I guess I could just tell y'all my favorite TV shows this year. But yeah, I'm not doing like a dedicated video. I did not see enough. I thought it could be a reminder of traumatic experiences. I'm thinking this is in relation to Frida and Blink Twice. Yeah, I went through that, but the other women had them traumatic experiences. That's why I'm like, well, hold up now, wait a minute, because the other ladies was not looking that ragged. And I get the whole, like, even though she doesn't remember, like your body remembers, like it's literally proven, like stress, traumatic experiences, like all of that literally physically can manifest in you. But baby, nobody else was looking ragged. I ain't like it. I did not like that everybody was shot, framed very well, makeup, like, except for my back. They didn't have to do her like that. They did not have to do her like that. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. She's always thinking the wheels of a smart person are turning. It draws you in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love her. Love her. Great performance. And it's something with her eyes. Like, I swear it's something in the performance. Oh my God. Number 18 is David. Okay, the J is pronounced as a H. Pareja. David Pareja as Jesus in The Coffee Table. Baby. Give this man all the awards. Give him the key to the city. Look. So The Coffee Table is a Spanish horror movie that came out this year. Well, I think it came out like last year in Spain, but came out this year for us Americans. So it's a 2024 release for us. But The Coffee Table is a horror, like dark comedy horror movie about a couple who has a new infant baby, and they buy this coffee table and mayhem ensues. Okay. And I told y'all this whole video gonna be spoilers. So it's all spoilers. Well, yeah, I was gonna say maybe I could try to avoid spoilers, but I gotta get into spoilers to really get into these performances. So David's character as Jesus is tasked with being left alone to take care of his newborn baby by himself for the first time. And it is always mind-blowing to me how men are always portrayed as such incompetent dads. Like, that don't make y'all upset. Like, the men, that don't make y'all mad. And it's men writing the story. Like, ever since I can remember, like, as far back as like the 90s, whether it's a show, whether it's a movie, whether it's a commercial, dads are always portrayed as so incompetent and so inept. Like, they just cannot handle their own offspring when the mom leaves for like an hour. Like, it's so insane. But he's left alone with the baby by himself for the first time. And brace yourselves. He kills the baby. And when the wife comes home, he's doing this whole charade. So, because he can't bear to tell her that her baby is dead. His brother and his brother's girlfriend is scheduled to come over. So his performance is based on him and the audience. We're the only ones who know that this horror has happened. And we get to spend literally the runtime of the movie seeing him try to be like social, but also dying inside with the fact that his baby is dead. Like, the performance he gives is it's a subdued performance because you're holding this horrid secret that is not only impacting the ones around you, but it impacts you. Like, your baby is fucking dead. Like, you, and not only your baby is dead, you killed your baby. Like, he was able to give such a subtlety with the performance where there's guilt, there's hurt, there's grief, but you have to mask it because you can't bear to tell your wife. And there was also a cowardice to his character because we get to a moment where he's leaving a suicide letter telling the wife, I can't bear like telling you this, so I'ma just die. So he manages to give you a performance where he's despicable because You're literally taking the coward's way out. You're going to let your wife find the dead body, deal with the grief, deal with this by herself, and also accumulated with the grief of her husband taking his life. Like, you're going to kind of take an easy way out because you can't face her. But there's also a sensitivity to his performance where you don't not like him, like you don't like what he does and his acts and how he handles it. And it's not like him for the baby. Him killing the baby is a complete accident, but he manages to have this despicable act after the baby dies. But you don't hate him. You don't necessarily side with him, but you're empathetic to the plight of this new dad killing his own baby. Like, you find a way to feel for him. And I really feel like with a different approach to the character, you would hate Jesus. Like, you literally, like, he's despicable with how he handles this whole situation and this whole charade when his wife gets home. Like, the movie is crazy. And this was another movie where, honestly, look, it goes without saying because I've said it ad nauseum. I've been very underwhelmed with the movies this year. The Coffee Table is no different. Beautiful gowns, but yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. But his performance, though, was absolutely out of this world. I was told The Coffee Table was too traumatizing. I mean, objectively, I don't think it's traumatizing. I mean, it is dark subject matter with the newborn baby being murdered, but I say it's not traumatizing because you don't see anything graphic. And then towards the end, there's something that could be considered graphic, but it's not. It's like a fleeting thing you see. Like, it's not. When the baby is killed, they pull like a Hitchcock type of thing. Like, you know how in old movies you see a knife go up and the lady screams and then blood hit the wall, but you don't like see her die. Like, that's what they pull when the baby is killed. You don't see the baby get killed. You just see blood and, like, stuff like that. But you don't actually see him getting killed. And our number 17 on the list is another performance from Blink Twice, and another fucking name. Another name I probably can't read. I should have looked these folks up to find them saying their names before I did this video. I'm just finna F this all up. Adria, Ajorna, or is this supposed to be like Spanish and pronounced like a H? Ahona SN. I'm so sorry. And that's like my pet peeve. I hate saying people's names wrong. I think it's so disrespectful. But obviously, like, I haven't met these people. I've never heard these people's names said, so I don't know how to. I'm just reading it. But Sarah from Blink Twice, another standout performance. I did rank her higher on the list than the young lady who played Frida. And I don't know if it's a bias because they didn't make her look ragged and shot to hell the whole movie. No. No. But I really feel like her performance does deserve to be higher. Obviously, lists like this are subjective, but for me, I place her higher than the young lady that played Frida because for most of the movie, her performance is just a fun party girl, right? But once we get to the catalyst of the story and how everything comes to a head for the girls, for Sarah, for Frida, when they start to remember being assaulted, the charade that she has to put on in particular, where this screenshot is from, the dinner scene. She has her full memory back. She knows that these men are hard R-word them. And anytime when her and Frida are at this dinner and Channing Tatum touches them and but they got to keep playing it off like they're disturbed, they're disgusted, they're scared. Like it's such a range of things, but the charade she has to put on the and I absolutely love, from what I read, my interpretation, the symbolism of having to have a smile on your face. It reminds me of, for example, Get Out, when the black maid is like, no, no, and tears are coming out. Like, I love that. It's something about like smiling, masking like a terror that it works so well for me. And I think she pulled it off really, really well. And then when she is starting to seep out, when she's at the table and she's talking, and then she has to spin it and fix it, and then they start fucking dancing. Like, I just thought it was so brilliant and so good. And this was really the best part of the movie for me. And it was really due to all the performances. But I thought her and Sarah was an absolute standout. From the moment she, like I said, it's pretty much party girl, but from the moment she starts to get her memory through to the end of the movie, which is such a standout, such a highlight, and somebody else that I would be excited to see again, that I never really paid any attention to. My number 16 is Kyle Gallner, the triple double OG of horror. Like, look, a lot of these folks is new to this. He true to this. Cal been doing horror since I was in like middle school, like for like a long ass time. Like since he was in middle school, he been doing horror. Love him so much. Cal Gallner as the demon in Strange Darling. Do I even have to give justifications for this placement? And it's really a testament to how great the performances were this year that he's only at number 16 with this. Because, and I've said ad nauseum again that this was a lackluster year for movies for me personally. But baby, the performances was hitting. Like, even in the movie, it's just a few movies on this list that I'm not a big fan of. But the actors brought it. It reminds me of, I saw this interview with Josh Brolin, who I freaking love. And he was talking about how someone said to him, how does it feel to now be doing A-list movies when you used to do C-list movies? And he was like, it pissed him off. And he said, as an actor, he always gives an A-list performance, even if you think it's a C-list movie. And yeah, I absolutely agree with that. There's obviously bad actors in good movies and good actors in bad movies. And a movie is like a formula, right? Like, you need a lot of pieces to make it a good movie, but the performance is a big part. But even though I felt like it was lackluster movies this year galore, the performances were out. The actors were acting. Okay, I guess they happy to strike over. They happy to be back to work. I don't know what's in the water, but the performances this year have been amazing, and it was so hard to even rank this. And it feels like a travesty having Cal down here at number 16. But that's just, like I said, a testament to how great the performances were this year. But Cal Gallner as the demon in Strange Darling, which this is another movie I was a little underwhelmed with, but it has a lot that I really love. It felt very Quentin Tarantino-esque, and I mean that as a compliment. Not like they were like mimicking or copying him. It felt his style with the chapters, with and I even love the characters' names. Like, he's the demon, the other girl is the lady. Because I went to look up, because I was like, what is his name? And it just said the demon, the lady. Like, I love stuff like that. But his performance here in particular, I don't even want to say that. See, I hate when something come in my head. But look, he was sinister. He was sexy. He was badass. Like, he was such a meld of things. And there's a line he says in particular that the second he says the line, I was like, oh, this is his Oscar-worthy performance. He goes to the hotel room. Strange Darling is where the demon and the lady go to this hotel for a one night stand, but she wants him to role play kind of like a sociopath, like he's dominating her, like he's a serial killer. And there's a moment where I can't remember what he said verbatim. I'm so mad I can't remember verbatim, but it's so sick. He's like, he turns on, because he acts like a regular guy, and then he turns on the psychopath when he ties her up to the bed, and he's like demanding and giving her like these instructions, right? And he goes to tell her, you're gonna, what did he say? You're gonna swallow my whole foot to the heel, or like, damn it, it was something about like her putting his whole foot in her mouth. Like the way he says it, I was like the second he says it, I was like I felt like I was tied to the bed and I was scared. Like, I'm gonna do what? Like, sometimes I watch movies and I'm like, baby, actors will do anything. They will say anything, because who says that? Who thinks of that? Like, that just, I don't know. For some reason, the point in the movie when he says that, I was just like, oh, Kyle, is he in there? Like, he committed to this. It was something, I don't know. Maybe it's just my sick brain. Like, it was something in that moment that I was just like, I didn't know if I should be scared or turned on. Like, I didn't know what was. He did that though. He did that. It was so good. But I love how they also, with Strange Darling, approach it where they're subverting your expectations, because initially it comes off as this girl is having a one night stand. If I remember correctly, she even makes comments about how it's not even safe for her to just want to, go and just have sex and have fun, because like, are you a killer? Are you a psycho? Like, I don't even, her safety. And when she tells him to role play and dominate her, and if she like cries or says no, like that's just a part of the game. It very much gives, oh, he a psycho, baby. Oh, he a serial killer. And when you give your safe word, he ain't gonna let up, because unbeknownst to you, he not really putting on. But then they flip the movie where he's the victim and she's the psycho. And when he has to switch in the movie from like regular guy, psychopath, victim, but then it flips again. I just feel like he flips between those modes so seamlessly, and in my opinion, more seamlessly than his co-star. I thought her performance was really, really lacking. I don't know, them against each other, Kyle just felt miles and miles and light years ahead of her. But yes, Kyle in Strange Darling, the Demon, my number 16 performance of the year. Again, underwhelming movie for me. But his performance was amazing. And it was a lot to that movie that I did like. It was just, I felt like we spent too much time in a hotel room. Like, that was getting old for me real quick. That little one night stand. My number 15, Naomi Scott and Sky Riley in Smile 2. I did a full review on Smile 2. I hate this movie. But her performance, though, this felt like the type of performance where if you're an actress, like at the end of this shoot, you got a headache, your eyes hurt, your mouth dry. Well, her mouth ain't dry, she was drinking water the whole damn time. But this felt like such an emotionally and physically taxing role. Like, she was just on 10, like stressed out the whole runtime of the movie. And her performance was very impressive, especially because I wasn't very impressed with the first Smile. I loved it once we got to the third act. But one of the reasons I didn't like Smile was I really did not like our lead actress. I thought she was giving mediocre, meh, like yeah, very uninspiring performance. So once we get to Smile 2, I think we really, really stepped it up with the casting of our central character that we focus on. And I wish we had a performance this electrifying, this like energetic. Like, I wish we had something like this in the first movie, because I probably would have liked that first movie a lot more. But Smile 2 sucks. But the actress, Naomi Scott, and this is my first time ever seeing Naomi Scott. I remember after seeing Smile looking her up, like, who is this? Because sometimes people be looking different. Like when they dye their hair, I be like, oh, I know her because her hair was dark or something. I was like, did she just not have blonde? No, I didn't know this lady. I have never seen anything she played in until now. Very impressed though. Very impressed. I think she absolutely elevated the material, the character, the movie. This was honestly a hard watch for me. Like it was, y'all know I'd be quick to want to turn something off. This was real hard for me to get through Smile 2, but really what kept me locked in was her performance. And that's one thing that I really, really love, and it can keep me engaged with the movie is I'm just so in awe of just acting. Like I love a really good performance. So that really kept me locked in with Smile 2. But yeah, this movie was yeah. It wasn't it for me. It just, for me. Because I know a lot of people loved Smile 2. My next entry, my number 14, is David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown in Terrifier 3. Another movie I wasn't a big fan of. Terrifier, the first Terrifier is the best, in my opinion. But one of my biggest issues with Terrifier 3 and Terrifier 2 is I feel like adding the whole Sienna Christ, Sienna Demon Slayer, I feel like we take way too much attention and focus off of Art the Clown, and I think he should be central. But what we do get of him in Terrifier 3, I loved. I mean, to have a silent performance, not very easy. When he meets Santa, when he pulls out the gun, the facial expressions, when he's giving the kids the presents, like there's so many moments where I just was like, yo, like he cooking. Like this it. I absolutely love his performance in all 3 Terrifier movies. It's just something about the physical performance that he gives that works so well for me. And I swear it is such a crime against humanity to me that we added a final girl to the Terrifier franchise, because I think it should have stayed all about Art the Clown, like 100%. Yeah, she absolutely elevated Smile 2. I'm talking about, I feel like baby was ripping her real hair out. Like that's how good her performance was. She was literally ripping her real hair. Like I feel like she was ripping her real hair out of her damn head. Number 13 is David Johnson as Andy from Alien Romulus. The way I wish we would have subverted expectations, killed off that mediocre white girl who we knew from the moment the movie starts was going to be the last one standing. I feel like I wish we would have killed her off and had Andy be the last one standing. And I hate when people push back and say, well, we did that with Michael Fassbender. No, this is different. Okay? Because he black. And we don't really get black final guys. And he's a good guy. Yeah, he an android, whatever. But I think it would have been completely different from the Michael Fassbender android character that was the last one standing. But this is another actor that has not been on my radar. And I was like, who is this? Love this young man. Give him all the roles. Give him his own horror movie to head or whatever genre he wants to do. Let him do it. Just throw all the roles his way. Absolutely love Andy so much to the core. Now, I will say, I'll be honest, when I first saw Romulus, his character was annoying me because I was like, baby, is he supposed to be like, why they making him like childlike and like he felt mentally handicapped. And I was like, but baby, but he was like an old model. And then they upgrade him. And then I was like, okay, baby, I'm on board. Once they upgrade him and he not acting like a little 5-year dopey 5-year-old, I was on board. But it was literally irking me that the second, look, I'm sorry, I gotta always be that person. Okay, look, this is just the eyes of how I see the world. The second that his objective was not the white girl. I don't like how they was trying to frame him in a villainous light. I was so sick of, what was her name? Rain? Andy, like, bitch, if you don't shut up, like, he about to save everybody. Just follow him. Like, he's making logical decisions, not emotional decisions, not cold-hearted decisions, just logical, computer-like decisions. Like, baby, if I open this door, we gonna all die. Sorry to that girl. But I just hate how they kept framing it like he was villainous once he got his upgrade. And it all, okay, I can't even get into all the ways Ellie Romulus irked my nerve. But shout out to David Johnson as Andy. Definitely top tier performance. And I would say the only misstep with his character, because I'm not one of those, it's a lot of things I hate about Ellie Romulus. The fan service was not one of those things. I was perfectly fine with him saying, get away from her. I wish we would have ended it like that. I wish the line would have just been, get away from her. Like, that in and of itself would be fan service. We would know that's a callback to Sigourney Weaver saying, get away from her, you bitch. I hate him adding the you bitch, and especially like the way he, like I said, they made, and I'm presumably this was the direction he was given for the character. They just made him so come across very mentally handicapped, very dopey and childlike. And when he got the upgrade, it got better, but it was still tinges of it there. And it came out when he was like, get away from her. Like, the longest seconds of pause. You bitch. I was just like it was so ugly the way he said that. Like, it was, you're already going, like, attempting an iconic line. Why you did it? Y'all set that black man up for failure, because I know that's the direction he was giving. Like, I know he ain't just say, I'm gonna say it like that. Like, I freaking hated that he did that line. I really, really wish he would have just said, get away from her. Like, just say get away. Oh my God. But you know, he just the actor. He don't get to write the material. Okay, so I'm not gonna put it on him. David showed us why trained actors matter. Yeah, shout out to that young man. He definitely gives, like, he came from the school of, like, the actors that feel like if you're not a stage actor, you ain't a real actor. Like, that's what he gives. He gives, like, I do stage acting. Like, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Like, shout out to that young man. 100%. It was a reversal of the 2001 Space Odyssey experience. I've never seen that movie. Absolutely love him. Yes. I better see him pop out. You know how Dan Stevens got like 3 movies coming out next year? I better see my baby David Johnson coming out with about 3-4 movies. Like, y'all need to cast that young man. I don't want this to, okay, I ain't even finna get into it. Number 12, Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes in The Ones Who Live. Look, child. Such an inspired performance. Such a gut-wrenching performance. Baby stayed stressed out most of the show. And something about an actor giving a real stress the hell out, like feeling like they got a migraine the whole the whole way through. Let me tell you. From it being framed where, as the audience, when Michonne pops up and you're like, wait a minute, have they gotten him? Is he gonna betray Michonne? Is he in with the I can't remember the little group, but is he in with that group now? Have they finally, brainwashed Rick? The way he starts off, where he's typical Rick, and he is hell bent on getting back to Michonne and getting back to his family, to the point of cutting off his, I cannot believe he cut off his muffin hand. And from what I saw from the fans, that they knew it was coming, because it happens in the comic books. I ain't about that comic book life. I did not know it was coming. I cannot believe he cut off his hand. The desperation he had to give, the stress he was under. Then when we get the tenderness, the love, the devotion, the dedication, the Rick Grimes savagery, like so many facets to the performance and where we find Rick, the journey he goes throughout the, I think it was like a 6 episode season. It was a really short season, but they packed a lot in a short season because the journey we see him go through, baby, I believed everything. You couldn't tell me Andrew wasn't Rick. You couldn't tell me that man didn't chop off his hand. Like you his performance felt so real, and him with Michonne, like him and the night, like they just mother freaking work. I don't know how they did the casting for Michonne. I don't know if they started it by doing sometimes when they cast, they do a chemistry test. I don't know if they did a chemistry test beforehand, but baby, it's there. Like this is why I could never date an actor, because don't let me be in a relationship with Andrew and I see him performing with something too real. But yes, top tier show this year, top tier performance. Absolutely was really excited. And that was my first time seeing Rick Grimes in ages. Like coming back, and it felt like, I don't know, Rick Andrew hasn't been on The Walking Dead. I remember reading some years ago, I think his character died or something. And that's how The Ones Who Live is. Like Michonne goes out because she doesn't believe he's dead. But for him to not have played this character for so long, it felt seamless. Like he just embodies Rick. My number 11 performance is Colin Farrell as the despicable Oswald Cobb from The Penguin. Y'all know the comic books and all that stuff, the superhero movies, it's not my ministry. I did like the Batman 2022 or 2023, when the hell it came out. I did like that movie, and The Penguin gave me all the vibes. It was right up my alley because it felt more like a crime mob type of movie or series. It didn't feel like a comic book series. So all of that worked. I like how gritty his performance was. I love how he embodied Oswald Cobb. I will say I get the criticism of they should have hired an actor who actually physically looks like Oswald Cobb, is actually like overweight, instead of putting the prosthetics on Colin. But baby, Colin killed this role. Colin killed this. Now, I'm not saying an actor that's actually built like the Penguin couldn't have killed the role, but this is what I got in front of me. And baby, I feel like can't nobody do this like Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell is motherfucking good. Like, that's one of those Colin Farrell is one of those actors that I like a lot of movies he's played in. The Recruit with Al Pacino. I like the Fright Night remake he did. Dead Man Down. I even liked him in that terrible season of Lovecraft Country, but he's not somebody that's like a fave of mine. Like, I don't know, but this was an amazing performance. Like, shout out to Colin. And I love the fact that we got a true, real deal, villainous, unlikable motherfucker. Like this is a villain. Like, oh, don't they say, oh, we ain't finna let the audience forget. This is a villain. Like, this is not Killmonger. This is not a villain you gonna side with. This is a villain to be revered. Like, loved it. Absolutely. I feel like his mannerisms, like just everything, the physical performance, he embodied. Like, this was, and I mean, I don't know the comics, so I can't compare it, but the performance was amazing. Inching in just ahead of her co-star at number 10 is Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone from The Penguin. Now, this could be my bias because as much as I love a villain, I love a villainous woman. Oh my Lord. And Sophia gave me all the things that I needed her to give. Psychotic, insane, calculating, smart, devious, all the things. But I will say she's the likable villain. Like, she's the person who was turned into a villain, and she's not despicable. You know what I mean? Like, she's not, I feel like Oswald would have killed the little niece when she go to kill her family, but she makes it a point to not kill the little child. I feel like Oswald would have killed that little girl. Like, Oswald is despicable. Like, he's a fucking villain. But there is a sense of rooting for Sophia, feeling empathy for Sophia, because like I said, she was turned into a villain. She was made crazy at Arkham. And honestly, as I was watching the Penguin series, I was rooting for Sophia. I wasn't rooting for Penguin. I said, baby, she need to get back on Penguin for what he did to her. I wanted to see Sophia come out on top. Like, I was really, really, really rooting for her. It was easy to root for her. And this is yet another actress that I was like, who the hell is this? Like, I don't know this lady. Baby, this was amazing. Like, please, let's do another like Queen of the South or something and cast her. Like, I need to see her leading the mob in something. Like, she worked so well for me in this. It had great style. There was a realism to the portrayal that is rarely seen in comic book based movies. And maybe that's why this works. And that is, look, I've tried to delve into, and I jumped on the train late. Like the last 2 years was me finally trying to watch like the Marvel movies. I saw my first DC movie with Black Adam, and they're okay for the most part. I don't get the hype. The one that I'm like crazy about is Captain America not Civil War. I haven't seen Civil War. Why do I always want to call it Civil War? What's the one when like his best friend is the assassin and he don't know it till he like take his mask off and he like looking at him, but like the best friend don't remember him. Damn it, what's the name of that one, y'all? And Samuel Jackson gets attacked on the streets in the SUV. Now that part was I consider that movie to literally be one of the greatest action movies of all time. Now, if all of y'all little comic book movies was like that one, I would get the hype and I would be on board, but they're not. This is gonna bug me. What is the name of that damn movie? Because I don't know why I always want to say Civil War. I've never seen Civil War. The Winter Soldier. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And I hate Captain America. Out of all them Avenger people, I can't stand him. He is such a goody two shoes. Like his beat too clean. Like I don't like Captain America. Oh my God, he's so stuck up. But Winter Soldier, oh, that movie goes hard as hell. But yes, I feel like one of the reasons why I don't know, it's just not my thing. But I also feel like those movies tend to be very fantastical, formulaic. But there was that's why I said it felt more like a mob crime movie than comic book. There was a realism and a grittiness. Like I feel like comic book movies for me tend to not feel like the real world. And the Penguin series felt like the real world. Oh, absolutely give Sophia her own series. I would be here for it. I hated how her story ended. I absolutely hated how her story ended. I kind of feel like it was worse than death, really, truly. Number 9, the only actor who makes a second appearance on this list is Kyle Gallner as Joel in Smile 2. Smile 2, I don't really care for that movie. But one of the greatest opening sequences in horror. Like 30 years from now, when we're talking about the greatest opening sequences in horror, we're going to mention Smile 2. We are going to absolutely mention Smile 2. I said when Smile ended that I hope we follow Joel for the sequel. I don't know why we did Kyle like this. I don't know why we just gave him this opening sequence. I wish so badly that Smile 2 would have centered on Joel. Like so badly. I don't know if it should have centered on him and picked up right where we left off and we follow him for the 7 days and then end the movie with this opener. Like this could have been the closing scene, or if this should have been the opener, but Cal didn't die, Joel didn't die, and he passed it to the young kid. And maybe he's trying. I don't know. I don't know how we should have did, but babe, we should have followed Cal. We should have followed Joel. As look, I did put baby on here for a performance, but I hate the pop star angle. Like I hate it with a passion. So I really don't like. I wish we could have. Yeah. I rather follow Joel. I like Joel. But getting into this opening sequence and Cal's performance, where we find him. We get a sense of what he's going through, and it's not only because we know what you go through with the curse, it's also how he appears when we find him, the desperation. We can tell in his performance that he's being haunted. He looks ragged. The one take sequence that they do for him, having that shootout, jumping through that window, like it was so. I mean, I really feel like it's just historic. Like it's historic. Like, do we still build monuments to people? If we still building monuments, Cal Gallner needs a monument in the middle of town square. Absolutely. That I rewatched that. I rewatched that opener over and over again. Number 8 is a movie that I really need to rewatch before I do my end of the year rankings. I only saw this one time when it came out, but Nicolas Cage as Longlegs in Longlegs. Now, this might be a bit unfair to everybody on this list to have him so high, because if Nicolas Cage don't know how to do nothing else, Nicolas Cage know how to play crazy. Like, this almost feels unfair. Like, I'm pretty sure this was not a stretch. This wasn't hard. Like, this man does this in his sleep. But, I need to rewatch this. I want to say, as flawed as I remember Longlegs being, I think Nicolas Cage as Longlegs was masterful. First of all, just the villain of Longlegs, like on paper, is just a great villain. But Nicolas Cage bringing that villain to life, the look of Nicolas Cage, which I personally think they did extremely well. Like, we know it's Nicolas Cage. Because honestly, y'all already know how I go into movies. If I remember correctly, I didn't even know Nicolas Cage was playing the villain in this. I remember going into the movie and I knew it was Michael Monroe. Lord God, y'all hire her ad nauseum. I'm so sick of that lady. I knew it was Blair Underwood. I was so hyped that Blair Underwood was going to be in here. And I knew Nicolas Cage was in it, but I didn't know who they were playing. But in the opening scene, baby, you know it's Nicolas Cage, right? But I do think they did extremely well with transforming his look to where, for me, yeah, you know him because we've seen Nicolas Cage in film ad nauseum over the course of the last 100 years. We know like his manner, but I think he was able to successfully transform himself, maybe not unrecognizable, but I do think he transformed himself extremely well to where it gives Nicolas Cage, but it doesn't give Nicolas Cage, if that makes sense. Like, I think this was one of the better physical transformations that I've seen Nick Cage do. Like, I feel like Samuel Jackson is an actor who's known for a physical transformation. Every character that Samuel Jackson portrays has a distinct and different look. Nicolas Cage be looking like Nicolas Cage and everything, child. Like, whether it's Snake Eyes, whether it's Con Air, he looked like Nicolas Cage. But I feel like this was one of the few times where there was a real physical transformation, and I think it worked extremely, extremely well. The singing, his presence, it was creepy, it was weird, it was sinister, it worked. I think Nicolas Cage knocked this out of the park. And like I said, maybe unfair because Nick Cage, baby, he played crazy in his sleep. Like, number 7 is Josh Hartnett as Cooper in Trap. One of the few movies that I actually did enjoy this year, which is so sick. It's so sick that I actually like this movie. As much as I have proclaimed I'm never watching the M. Night Shyamalan movie again, I keep watching them. Because I said that, I first proclaimed that after Old, then I went to the movie theater to see Knock at the Cabin, and then said I was never watching him again. And then I saw Trap, but I'm glad I showed up for Trap. Take out the motherfucking singing and ish with the pop star stuff. This could have been a home run. But Josh Hartnett as Cooper. I've loved Josh Hartnett since I was a kid. You couldn't tell me I was not going to marry this white man. And to my recollection, I've never seen Josh Hartnett play a villain. I thought he did extremely well. Like, this was no Training Day. This wasn't that kind of first time playing the villain, but it was very like it was giving like a Dexter type of performance where he was like an unassuming regular Joe, charming, but also sicko. And it's something in this smile, like this smile he gave, because Josh Hartnett is gorgeous, okay, and he gives Dreamboat when he smiles, but this smile was. It was giving creepy. It was giving don't trust this man. Don't trust this white man over there. But I think I enjoyed Trap so much because of Josh Hartnett's performance. And again, the actors are the anchors. Like, the performance can really, really just really bring home a lackluster movie. I don't want to say Trap was lackluster, but objectively it was. Like, I really enjoyed this movie, but it was really because of, but it was like, I personally think the entire movie should have played out at the arena. I think once we take it outside of the arena, it gets pretty silly. I think we should have stayed in the arena. I think we should not have suddenly turned M. Night Shyamalan's daughter into like a main character. I was not here to see a performance. Like, it was all that was too much. But outside of those horrendous decisions, Josh Hartnett as the serial killer, he knocked it out of the park. And I would actually be down for a sequel that does not include the motherfucking pop star and that just centers on Josh Hartnett as Cooper. I would 100% be here for the Trap sequel, but we need to not call it Trap, because how he gonna be trapped again? I don't know. Maybe it'll be Trapped Again. There you go. That's the time. M. Night, I got you, bro. Trapped Again. Center it on Josh Hartnett's Cooper. I'm so sorry, sir, but leave your daughter out of it. Leave your daughter out of it. I'm here with the nepotism on the daughter that's doing the directing, okay? But the daughter that was in here doing all the bopping and singing, please leave her at home, sir. Sir, please leave her at home. We give M. Night chances like Tyler Perry. Now, hold on now, baby, because I don't give Tyler no chance. That's y'all with that foolishness. Yeah, no. But I give M. Night chances because he has proven that he can deliver greatness, and we're just waiting for like him to have his emancipation of Mimi moment. Like, we're ready for him to. Oh, look, hold on, y'all. My drink is why did I not get a coaster? It is messing up my desk. We are going to take an intermission, and I don't have nothing. I don't have none of my videos loaded. We're going to take a quick intermission and we're going to be right back because I'm fucking up my desk. Baby, y'all the op. Y'all the op. Because why nobody told me I was muted? Y'all saw me sitting here doing all that. Y'all the op. Y'all the op for real. I see how it is. Y'all some traitors. Like y'all ain't right. Y'all foul. Because why y'all was letting me run my mouth and nobody told me I was on mute? Goddamn. But yes, I absolutely love the premise of Trapped. Him getting trapped ain't make no sense because the wife suspected he a killer and dropping the damn ticket at that your daughter gonna be there, and so you want your daughter to see him get it make no sense how he got there. But yes, I really like the premise. That's also why I gave M. Night another chance, because I was like, oh shoot, like, okay, buddy, I'm on board with this. But let's move to our next entry. Number 6 is Miss Demi Moore as Elizabeth Sparkle in The Substance. There are some films that come along and literally just change my life. Demon Night, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Mimic, The Substance. I am so obsessed with this movie. I've seen it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times so far this year, and I actually love it more every time I watch it, which is so insane. I think when I first saw this, I gave it a 4 out of 5, but on my subsequent rewatches, I've given it a 5 out of 5. And Demi Moore is an actor like Colin Farrell, who I've seen a lot of their work. I've enjoyed a lot of their work. I remember watching G.I. Jane when I was a kid. I liked that movie. I even saw Striptease when I was a kid. I didn't really care for that movie. But this performance from Demi Moore is almost inspiring. Like, this far into her career, she's given such a performance. I really feel like this was the best performance of her entire career. And I love how Coralie Farjad does her movie, where it's such limited dialogue. I feel like anytime a actor doesn't have a lot of dialogue to work with, because you can use dialogue to obviously convey a lot of different things to the audience. But when you have a performance like Demi Moore's in The Substance, where so much of what she needs to convey to the audience is unspoken, like she has to convey it without words, it really felt like she was just speaking a language of her own, a language outside of verbal language. And of course, I had to use this still because the mirror scene when she is getting ready for the date, and tons of the mirror scenes, the way she looks at herself in the mirror throughout the movie, the way she looks at herself in such a critical way, like with, again, unspoken, she says so much in how she looks at her body throughout the movie, the way she looks in the mirror throughout the movie. And I love how, for me and my interpretation, Elizabeth's pursuit of these beauty standards is not framed good, bad, right, wrong. She's a bad person. She's a good person. She's trying to follow the standards that she, is bound in. And there's such a relatability to her performance. There's such a vulnerability to her performance. And the way she's able to act through prosthetics, when we get to that big showdown with Elizabeth and Sue, and the look on her face, like with prosthetics on and with all that stuff on. Look, Demi Moore killed this shit. This is another example of a nobody else could have played this role. Okay, I could think of a few people, but she killed this. She killed this. This was masterful, and I think that's my favorite with her acting. Of course, we know with the substance, it gets more batshit crazy and more over the top as it goes on. But her performance also, as the movie goes on and she's starting to get more and more time sucked away from her because Sue keeps taking time, and she's having this physical transformation throughout the movie. The Sue we start off with, and I love the character introduction of Sue with her doing her workout tape and her little, and then she's in the bathroom and she hears Dennis Quaid, and we go from that to her in there cooking that food, looking ragged, throwing potatoes at the TV, yelling at Sue. Yo, Demi Moore did that ish. It was so good. It was so good. I was shocked. I didn't know she had this skill level. I'll be honest. Me neither. Shout out to Demi Moore. Beautiful. Demi Moore is one of those actors where it's like beautiful gowns. Like, she's gorgeous. I feel like she made a career on being gorgeous. I still remember, I think I was either a kid or a preteen, and she did like a nude cover of a magazine when she was pregnant. Like, shout out to that lady. I didn't know it was more under the hood like this. And I don't even mean that in a misogynistic way. Like, oh, she's beautiful, sort of. But I'm just saying, I've never seen her pull this out of herself for a performance. And if I was Coralie Farjah and I was thinking of who could play this role, Demi Moore would have been the last name in my mind. Because I don't know, I just would never, I wouldn't see this. Like, I wouldn't see this. And it was funny to me because when I first saw The Substance, the first time I saw this movie, when the movie ended, I was honestly questioning, why would you cast Demi Moore? Like, as great as she did, I ended the movie like, she's looking gorgeous. Like, why y'all ain't cast somebody that need to take The Substance? But once I sat with the movie, I felt like that's the point. Like, her being this gorgeous at her age and still having to pursue this back alley drug, and the way they filmed the movie, I thought was realistic, where when you have the scenes of Sue walking down the street, literally every guy is breaking their neck, whiplashing back, which I've never understood that. Man, why do men do that? I've never in my life saw an attractive guy and just had to whip why do men do that? It's so weird. Like, is it that serious that you gotta whip your head back? Okay, never mind, I'm getting off. Going off on something else. But every time we see Sue walk down the street, the men are literally breaking their neck, whiplash, and looking back when she walks. Every time we see Demi Moore walk down the street when she's gorgeous, I'm talking about the top of the movie before she's having the transformations, literally not one man whips their neck back. And it's very realistic to life. And I felt like that was the point. We needed somebody as gorgeous as Elizabeth, because it's very true to life. The women who go to get all of this stuff done, they're not quote unquote unattractive or ugly. I hate calling people ugly, but y'all get the point I'm trying to make. It's women who are literally like, you're already like, you're gorgeous. Why are you doing this work? Which, do whatever you want to do. But I feel like that was part of the commentary, is she, even when we see her completely naked in the mirror, like, obviously once Sue is born and we see Sue naked, yes, there's obvious differences in their body, in their breasts, but Demi Moore doesn't look bad though. She just doesn't look like a little perky 20-odd something year old. But the more I rewatch this movie, the more I sit with Demi Moore's performance, the more I sit with the commentary that Coralie Farjah was going for. I think Demi Moore was the perfect person for the role. And yeah, I'm not gonna jump out the window and say this is one of those nobody else could play this. Yeah, I could think of some people. But Demi Moore killed this. Like, this was absolutely amazing. Shout out to Demi Moore. I absolutely love seeing somebody like hit strides like this later in life, because I hate the narrative of like, you got to do everything when you're young and like you're too, if you're still breathing, like there are still adventures left in life. There's still stuff for you to do. Like, I absolutely love like actors who don't get successful until they're like 40 and 50, and just in general in life where certain people don't, I don't know, find love or find success until they're older. So I absolutely love Demi Moore really having the biggest moment of her entire career at like 50 years old. Like, this was her first time going to the Cannes Film Festival for her own movie. Like, never in her career. I love that for her. Like, shout out to her for that. The lack of competition with Sue was amazing. It left room for commentary about the entertainment industry and men in general. I love that movie. I love everything about it. I love everything it had to say. Right up my alley. Right, the blood, the body horror, the commentary, just sick, just amazing. I'm trying to have me a little margarita. Messed up my desk. No, I'm not seeing that casting. Um, the way I said I didn't want to see Demi Moore giving a performance like this, baby. I don't. Can Lindsay Lohan act? Like, I don't know. I've never seen a Lindsay Lohan movie. I just knew Lindsay. Obviously, I know who she is. I used to buy Lindsay Lohan albums. Let me tell you, I used to love Lindsay Lohan albums, child. Remember when all the little actress girlies was singers too? I had Hilary Duff album. I had Lindsay Lohan album. Child, look, but can Lindsay act like that? I don't. Um, can Halle Berry act like that? And I love Halle Berry. I've told the story before on this channel. One of the first movies I reviewed when I started this channel was that boxing movie Halle Berry did, and I literally had somebody in the comments say, "You think Halle Berry can act? You have no credibility. I'll never listen to anything you have to say." I love Halle Berry, and I think she gets too much flack when it comes to her acting ability. I love Gothica. I even liked that Catwoman movie when I saw it years ago, whenever it came out. I thought that was really fun. Um, but I think she's look, Halle Berry can act, but there's different levels to acting, right? I don't think Halle Berry can like pull off Angela Bassett type of acting. Like, she can act. I don't know if I see Halle Berry pulling off Elizabeth Sparkle. I would absolutely cast Elizabeth Sparkle with Nia Long, Angela Bassett, Charlize Theron, not Halle Berry or Lindsay Lohan. Like, no, I don't know that no. But again, I've never seen anything Lindsay Lohan played in. I've never seen Mean Girls. What else has she done? Yeah, what the hell has Lindsay Lohan even done? I swear, and it's crazy because when I think about Lindsay Lohan, I just think about partying, and because she was always in the tabloids back in the day. I don't even know what the hell movie. I don't even know what the hell movie she done. What the hell Lindsay Lohan done played in, y'all, besides Mean Girls? Imagine if Neil Long was the main character. That flashed through my head. And that's something that I do when I watch movies. That's fun to me is I think about like who would I cast if this was my movie. And when I went through my who would I cast if I was Coralie Farjah, yeah, Neil Long was on my list. It's a short list. Neil Long, Angela Bassett, Charlize Theron, or an unknown actress. That would be my casting. That would be my casting. Lindsay has made the physical changes examined in the film. Yeah, okay. The last time I saw Lindsay Lohan was some promo for a Christmas movie with Netflix this year. She looks gorgeous. Um I'm trying to think how to say this without sounding mean. But can she give the depth that the role calls for? Can she give the vulnerability that the role calls for? Does she have the acting chops that the role calls for? I think it's more than a physical thing. My number 5, we are now in the top 5 of the best performances of 2024. Starting number 5 is Neil Tiger Free as Margaret in The First Omen, a running trend on this list. Movies that underwhelmed me and actors who I was like, who the hell is this? I had no clue who Neil Tiger Free was. Never saw her a day in my life. Don't know nothing about this lady. But this put her on my radar. I thought this performance was absolutely mind-blowing. Literally mind-blowing. And there was a physical acting in this when we get the what we want to call it, the birthing scene. That's a callback to the possession scene from the movie The Possession. I didn't know what baby was doing. I didn't know if she was auditioning for a music video. She killed that. That was amazing. The way she is in terror throughout the movie. Particularly the still image that I got where she kept having this, what are we calling it, entity during this whole protest moment that was out there, and she was losing it. I love there's a pattern when it comes to the actors that are my favorite. There's an intensity that I like. Like I said, there's a sense of being stressed out and having a migraine the whole shoot that I like. Like, you know how when you're real stressed and crying, you get a migraine? That's why I say migraine when I be describing this stuff. Because that's what I think of. Like when you're really stressed, you be so stressed to make your head hurt. Yeah, I love performances like that. I love acting like that. I love I'm gonna just say intense. I was gonna say over the top because I like Al Pacino is my favorite actor, and some people be saying he be going over the top, but like I like that. I like an intensity. That's why I love Charlize Theron. She gonna give you some intensity. But I like how with this performance in The First Omen, it wasn't that quite over the top intensity. It was a more subtle, like unraveling, like the threads are loosening as we're following Margaret throughout the film. And I love that. Like, as much as I love like the over the top intensity, there's something about I feel like I used to really, really love in like over the top intensity, but I feel like now I'm in my era of I really like a subtlety and I really appreciate a subtlety in a performance. And I think that Neil Tiger Free brought that here. And there were just so many moments where just looking at her, just her physicalness, her eyes, when she's in the club scene, when she sprawled out, like I think it was the morning after the club, she sprawled out on the bed and her hair is like sprawled out behind her. Like I said, the birthing scene where I don't know if she was half, but what are we calling that? The half possessed, half birthing scene. As much as I always say, stop casting Anya Taylor-Joy and what's baby Michael Monroe. Cast Neil Tiger free, okay? Throw baby in there, okay? Please stop giving them other two girls everything. We can throw Neil Tiger in some stuff. I absolutely loved her in this, and I would absolutely be here for her to head off another horror movie. I think, and something I love about her is I feel like she's a beautiful girl, but there's something odd about her look. There's something eerie, creepy, odd, interesting about her look that really works for me, that really works for horror. Number 4, if you would have told me that ever in my life would Channing Tatum be on my list of favorite, I would have said, baby, you a bold face lie. I've never liked Channing Tatum. I've always felt like he could not act. And I mean, can't motherfucking act. Can't act. Never understood the hype. This is also why I say that I am 100% here for Lenny Kravitz's daughter being a director, because baby, she was able to pull a performance up out this man that no director has before. Because when I tell you, I don't ever want to be in a room alone with Channing Tatum. This role, yo, he killed this. He killed this. I was scared of this nigga. You had, like, I don't want to be alone. Please leave the door open, sir. Like, there's a moment in particular where one thing that Channing Tatum does so brilliantly in this movie for me is he walks the line between charming and scary. He's able to be charming, like you kind of like him, you think he attractive, like, and I ain't never thought Channing Tatum was attractive, y'all. But the way he comes off, you get why Frida is so infatuated with him. There's something about, there's an air of coolness, but there's also a darkness, but like, you know, that darkness that you kind of be like, oh, like he kind of mysterious, like, but then you find out, oh, this is for real darkness. And I feel like he's able to play the duality of that extremely well. And even like I said, that dinner scene when the ladies have to mask and conceal and pretend, he's also doing great acting, because baby, he know. It's like he consents, like y'all know, but he not letting on. Like, I feel like sometimes it's not what's happening in the scene. It's like what's underneath. It's what the characters are hiding. It's what they're not saying. And I think that Zoe Kravitz was so masterful with her direction with all 3 of these actors that I put on this list, where a lot of the scenes, a lot of the interactions, it's not even, the scene isn't about what the scene is about. It's not about what they're talking about. It's not about what's actually happening. There's something underneath. There's a secret being kept, and not just the big reveal of a secret, but before the reveal, there's a feeling in the interactions. And even once we get the reveal and we're at that dinner and they're interacting, once the ladies know, there's just something seeping underneath the surface that the actors just portray extremely well. But there was a moment when first of all, I was just shocked off the bat. I was like, motherfucker, Channing Tatum, all this time, nigga, you could act. But there was a moment in particular where I was blown away, and I said, oh, hell no. Do I like Channing Tatum? Oh, I gotta be a fan of this nigga now. There's a moment where everything has been revealed, and Slater is in the room with Frida. I think her hands are tied. She's back, like he has her now after they tried to run and do the whole thing. And he's putting on the nice guy thing, because we opened the movie with him giving that celebrity like apology thingy. And we have a moment, and it's one of my favorite things for actors to do. A standout that's in my head right now is Jim Carrey in the movie Fun with Dick and Jane, where he keeps yelling indicted. There's something when actors have to say a word over and over and over again that, and something they give you in acting school to do, where you have to just say a benign word, but you have they'll say like banana, and then they'll give you angry. Like you get a benign word and you get emotion or either multiple emotions. I love when actors do that in a movie. When Channing Tatum as Slater is talking to Frida and he goes, we know he's doing a psychopath thing. You know, we know he a rapist. We know he a R. Kelly. But then he pulls out I think he was saying apologize or I'm sorry. I only saw this movie once. I think the word he kept saying was like apologize. When I tell you the way Channing Tatum was saying apologize over and over again, if I'm Zoe Kravitz, babe, I'm scared. Like I don't know. The performance was it was in that moment that I was like, oh hell, damn it, I gotta be a Channing Tatum fan now. Because that moment was just so brilliant. Him just saying that word over and over again, and the subtlety of how it was like crescendoing. Like he started off with the psychopath of showing you how convincing he can sound apologizing, but then the more he kept saying it, then the psychotic anger and stuff was coming out. Oh God, y'all, it was so good. It was. I don't want to sit through this movie again, but some kind of way I gotta just see that part because I don't like seeing that with the subject matter. But that scene, and I'm mad I cannot remember specifically. I think the word he kept saying was apologize. He was like, I apologize. And he was saying it so sincere. And it's like scary how sincere he was able to say it when once we have the reveal. And then he just, like I said, it just crescendos with him just like keep saying the word. Baby, Lenny Kravitz's daughter need to stay the hell behind the camera. She need to stay the hell behind the camera because I would have put money on the fact that he could have never played a role like this. Like, I did not know this young man could act like I didn't know he could act at all. Like, he was literally masterful in this movie to me. Like, the third anchor that held the whole movie down. Another surprising performance from Channing. I think they broke up after. Wait, what? They ain't together no more? Oh. I mean, I don't blame Zoe because babe, I would never date an actor because I can't look at stuff like this and then go home with you. No, this was too real. Babe, I'm scared of you now. I do not want to be alone with you. Like, I'm scared. Where did you muster this up from? Like, oh my God. Yeah, look, even if they ain't together no more, he need to do another movie with Zoe Kravitz because she got something out of him nobody else has ever gotten out of him. It was amazing. Number 3 is Carolyn Bracken as Danny and Darcy in Oddity. And as distinct as I felt like she was able to make both of these characters, she plays twins in Oddity. Hats off to her for that. But she ain't even on my list really for she on my list as the central character, the medium. The way, again, the running theme is, who the hell is this actress? I ain't know this lady from a can of paint. I am so obsessed with her now. There's something about this look, the blonde hair, the whole being a medium and everything, like the character on paper. I am so in love and obsessed with this lady. And it hats off to the writer. He obviously has a good sense of humor because the snarkiness he embedded into the bulk of his characters and into Carolyn Bracken's character. I can't remember who was Danny and who was Darcy, but the blind twin. Obsessed with this lady. Obsessed. I feel like as lackluster as I feel like this year was, this year was so lackluster. Oddity was the first movie this year that I loved. And that was what, summertime when Oddity came out? That was the first movie this year that I loved. And then I think I saw Alien Romulus next and loved that. But I do not like Alien Romulus. Unlike The Substance, where the more I watch it, the more I love it, Alien Romulus is on Hulu now. And I think I've rewatched it like 3 times at this point. The more I watch Alien Romulus, the less I like it. It's really crazy. But those were the first movies this year that I really liked. And Oddity, I love. No matter, I think Oddity is the movie I've seen the most this year. I've rewatched that maybe 6 times. I don't know. I've rewatched it a lot of times. But I feel like Carolyn Bracken as the blind twin feels like the movie has this great atmosphere, and I feel like she helps create that. Like the castle they're filming in, that house, no, not a castle. It feels like a castle. The house they're filming in feels like a character. It's a great setting, but it also feels like her as the blind twin is amplifying the setting because she's just as eerie and creepy and odd and off-putting and interesting as the setting. Like it all melds together and complements each other so well. I want to see what else she's gonna do. American, Irish, I don't care. I'm gonna sign up for it. I am in love with this lady now. Like literally obsessed. She did amazing. And it's so and it does add, I said it wasn't why she was on the list, but it does add in the fact that she was able to play such starkly different characters and really embody them. When I saw this, I did not know they cast the same actress for both roles. I didn't know it until I looked at the cast and the credits and stuff on IMDb, that I was like, oh, this was the same lady. I had no idea. I think she did that so amazingly. Like, was I the only person that like couldn't tell that she was the same actress? Because it wasn't working. And now, oh wait, you know what? I had a live schedule after this that I forgot about. What time did I schedule that live for? Oh, I scheduled it for 30 minutes ago. Oh Lord, I scheduled it for 30 minutes ago. Let me edit the time on this event. Wow. I really thought that this was going to be like a quick live, because I was like, well, I'm just going through my little performances real quick. I did not think this was going to be that long of a live, but I guess I am a chatty patty. Hey, Equalizer, shout out to you. Thank you for being in here. Happy New Year to you, even though we're not in the new year. I feel cheated. These actors can't really deliver if the script and director demands better quality. Yeah. But I think it's a mix. I don't think it's just better quality. I think it kind of reminds me of like a Quentin Tarantino. Like I feel like certain directors are just really good at being able to talk to actors and get certain performances out of them. And I think the fact that Zoe Kravitz was on the acting side probably helps her as a director to be able to talk to the actors. I remember Quentin Tarantino saying something like that, like a lot of directors don't know how to talk to actors. And I think it helps that she was on that side and she was on the acting side. And now we are getting into my number 2 performance, which is Elvis Noasco as Mr. Crockett. And this is when we get into a little something.
Go, but it's family dinner time. Aren't you going to eat, Kevin? Open up, Kevin! I guess force feeding doesn't feel that good. Oh, Kevin, fine! Who's ready for a second course?
Now, see, that was how the whole list was supposed to go. I was supposed to have little clips on the whole list. But yeah, I tapped out. But our top 2, you get a little snippet of why they are on the list. And You want to know what? In my party days 100 years ago when I was young, you know how it was something I used to do all the time where I would know, okay, I'm intoxicated. And it was when I would try to drink and I would literally be like, and also it was so stupid. Like I would be like trying to get the straw, and my friend would be like, and I would be like, "Oh, I'm drunk." I would do that all the time. Like literally, I would do that all the time. Just chasing the straw like a freaking idiot for the longest time. Like, oh damn, okay, I'm drunk. Oh my god, that just reminded me of that when I just did that. But I hated this movie. But the standout was Elvis as Mr. Crockett. They need to give this. I think this should absolutely be a franchise. I love the Mr. Crockett character. I think they did my man Elvis all the way wrong. We needed better material. We needed a better movie all around. But the actual character of Mr. Crockett, the lore of Mr. Crockett, I even love when we get the TV show and the singing and the songs. Like all of that stuff was gold. And his performance was so unhinged, creepy, such a mix of like a Black Freddy Krueger, like a who was that man? Won't you be my neighbor? Who was the Won't You Be My Neighbor man? Y'all know who I'm trying to think of. Damn it, my mind is blanking. Mr. Rogers, like a Black Mr. Rogers, like a Bill Cosby back in the day. Like this was a genius performance. And I love this performance because I felt like he was the only person in the movie who like understood the assignment. Like I felt like that was another one of the detriments to the movie is we didn't have enough fun with it. It felt like we were taking ourselves way too seriously, but Elvis injected fun and life and an enthusiasm and I want to say like a B movie chemistry, and I don't mean B movie in a bad way. I hate that this is such an amazing horror villain trapped in a horrible horror movie. Like, I just feel like we needed better writing. I feel like we needed better casting. I'm so sorry, but couldn't nobody in the movie act except Elvis. Narratively, the shit wasn't working. But if we can come back with a better writer, we can have a masterful franchise. I would 100% be here for this to be a franchise. And it is off the strength of, well, partly off the strength, 90% off the strength of Elvis' performance and 10% off the strength of just the Mr. Crockett character. Because that movie was terrible. Okay? The movie was bad. It was structurally bad. But we have some really good stuff here. We already know horror lacks Black horror villains. We really don't ever get that. Okay. All y'all niggas talk about is Candyman. That was 100 years ago. Okay. I think it's about time. And I feel like it's about time we get a new modern horror villain franchise. We don't have horror franchises like we used to with villains, like the Freddys and the Michael Myers and the Chuckies, where they go on for 10, 11, 100,000 movies. Okay. Mr. Crockett can fill that void. Like, I'm very much here for Mr. Crockett 4, Mr. Crockett 10, Mr. Crockett requel, Mr. Crockett remake. Like, I'm here for all of it. Like, I think it's such a good idea. Yes, Mr. Rogers. I couldn't think. Honestly, I don't even think it's budgetary. I don't even think they need more money. Like, I truly don't. I don't think that the flaws, obviously, it's a low budget movie, but I don't think that's what hurt it. There are so many low budget movies that are amazing. It's the writing. It's the casting. And I don't care how low the budget is. The budget don't play into the writer. But what I think the issue is also is the guy, like this was a short film. The guy who directed it also wrote it. I think maybe Baby need to stick with everybody can't be a writer director. I think maybe he should just be a director and get somebody who is actually talented with writing. Okay. Um there were so many cliches in his writing. The writing was bad. The writing was bad. It was really bad. But another actor that I was like, who the hell is this? Shout out to this man. This performance literally deserves awards. Like it really does. I was blown away. I loved it. I had so much fun with that performance. My number one performance of 2024 is Walter Goggins as Cooper Howard / the Ghoul in the Fallout series. And let's see.
Well, I tell you what, boys. Whenever somebody says they're doing one last job, that usually means their heart's not in it. Probably never was. But for me, well, I do this shit for the love of the game.
You know your kind ain't welcome here.
Well, maybe not. But I'm gonna make myself welcome. Damn, y'all ain't got me working up an appetite. I'd offer you one of these cherry tomatoes, but you got a hole in your neck. Well, I'd say come up here and get me, but it's hard to walk upstairs when you're wearing a 12-piece cast iron skillet set. Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs. Well, I guess basic training ain't what it used to be. You drive that thing like a fucking shopping cart. Rule number 1, read the manual.
Now, see, this was the what I had in mind for y'all. I was supposed to accumulate some clips for everybody on the list so y'all can see why they on the list. But this took a lot. And I was like, oh, child, I can't do this for 20 people. I can't do this for 20 slots. So, yeah, this how I was supposed to look. But Walter Goggins Supremacy, okay, love him. And he's really here for the Ghoul character. Yeah, Cooper Howard, great. He did great. And the duality, again, of an actor being able to pull off two distinctly different characters in one series, great. But Cooper, you're here for the Ghoul. Not so much Cooper, but you know, that pass it. But when I tell you, as much as I love a villain like the Penguin, where they're just despicable, this is the prototype of my favorite type of villain and why I love villains since I was a kid. Because I love like a cool villain. Like I love a funny villain. I love a villain with some personality, with some pizzazz, with some style. But that's also evil. And that's also despicable and diabolical. Like we need all that. But I love a villain with some flair. Like his one line, that great series. Fallout, great series. That would probably be my number one favorite series this year. But he was miles above everybody on this show. Light years ahead. The writing for the character was light years ahead of everybody else. Like gold standard, shining gold star, my number one favorite performance of 2024. I mean, nothing topped this. Fallout was like the beginning of the year, and nothing that came after toppled this. Absolutely love him. Absolutely so obsessed. And when I tell you, like, this is just, and I feel like I haven't seen a villain like this in a while. This is my prototype for my favorite type of villain. It reminds me of like how much I love Nicolas Cage villain in Face Off. Like, I just love I need you to have all the villainous traits, but some pizzazz and some flair and some personality. Like, I love a villain. I love a villain more than a good guy. I'm be honest. Or maybe I could like an anti-hero character, but yeah, the good guys characters at the bottom, but the villainous or the anti-hero type of characters, absolutely love them. Yes, Walter Goggins always delivers. Always delivers. This man, always. Goggins is a menace. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, January Flowers. Thank you so much for being here in the live. Shout out to you. Money can solve or fill plot holes. I absolutely disagree. The only thing money can solve is so you can hire better writers. But if he wants to write it, all the money they throw at him, if right now a big movie studio said, hey, we gonna take this from Hulu, this needs to be in the theaters, we gonna give you $20 million to make the sequel to Mr. Crockett, that $20 million ain't gonna make that young man a better writer. No, money don't. First of all, low budget movies knock it out of the park. But yes, certain movies do need a certain budget to bring a certain vision to life. But all the money in the world does not fix the fundamental structural issue narratively with the movie, because that starts on the page. That starts before you ever get the funding and the budget for the movie. Like, if you're just, like I said, now it can help you hire better writers, but when you're this young man who directed and wrote it, or if you're a writer director, like if you're like Quentin Tarantino, he had Reservoir Dogs. Sylvester Stallone had Rocky. Like, if you write something, the studio can give you all the money in the world. That's not gonna fix the fact that you're not a good writer. Like, they can get that young man all the money in the world. He needs to hire a writer. Direct it. Now, I think the young man should direct it. This is your property. This was your idea. Yes, you should absolutely direct. I think he has skills as a director. He just don't got skills as a writer. But hey, that's my humble opinion. Okay, that's my humble opinion. But that was my top 20 best performances, which is subjective. It's my favorite performances of 2024. So let me know, what were your favorite performances of 2024? Did you agree or disagree with the people that I just was in love with? I got hopes for 2025. I'm just gonna bury 2024 movie wise. Lackluster, but the actors, baby, the actors were working for their check, okay? Now, we do have our live that we are doing right after. I don't know. Do I want to do it right after here, or do I want to reschedule it? Because it's late as hell. I ain't know that live was going to take this long time. In 2 hours. We have why do I keep saying we? Y'all ain't doing nothing. It's me. I have a live scheduled right after this one. Reacting to your unpopular movie opinions, unpopular horror movie opinions. I'm trying to think if I want to do that right now or wait and just I'm gonna wait and reschedule it. It late. It late. It real late. And y'all know, I'm trying to train. I'm doing my run training because my goal is to run a marathon. So I can't be up to 3 o'clock in the morning and sleeping the day away and waking up real late. Okay. I can't do that. So I'm trying to think. I do feel energized. I don't know. I gotta think. If y'all see me go live, that mean I decide to go live. If I don't go live, that mean I rescheduled it because I don't know. I gotta think. But thank you guys so much for being here for this live. Shout out to you guys, and thank you, Critical Thinker. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is here for this live. Thank you for supporting the channel, and shout out to Trent King for the $50 super chat. Thank you. I will see you guys in the next one.